We have a whole lot to talk about today. Let's get into it. Welcome back, boys and girls. We're going to spend some time talking about most of the games we saw from that showcase. I'm not going to touch on every game, but we are going to talk about most of them and compare and contrast with the PS5 reveal showcase and see if we can figure out who came out on top, or even if there is a winner. First, I'm going to talk about the games that I didn't really care much for, or what I would call not so great. That's in my opinion, though. Some of you guys might be watching this and thinking that's exactly the game I'm waiting for. And that's great. I'm just willing to bet for the most part, most gamers are not dying to play these games. On the PlayStation side, I gotta start with Bugsnax. And I might be wrong, like I said, some of you guys might want to have a fish with an Australian accent who eats bugs. I don't even remember the thing. I think it was a walrus or a fish with an Australian accent who eats bugs. And if that's what you want to do with your time, that's cool, man. Do your thing. I just don't think it's going to be a great game. And then you've got Solar Ash, which visually looks interesting, but I just can't see myself spending a long time playing this game. And then Destruction All-Stars, which again is probably really niche, and I'm sure there's going to be people out there who would love this game and think it's really fun. It's just not for me. Not something that I would call a big console hit. Now let's get back to the Xbox side. I gotta start with From Dusk and Tell Me Why. These are kind of games I just don't understand. Again, they might be the perfect game for you. I just don't understand them, right? I mean, to me, they seem like they're better served as animated movies instead of these dramatic, interactive games, I guess. I just don't see how the gameplay works. You just kind of choose left or right or what to say, or it's just not a game. In my eyes, that's not a game. And then there's Grounded, which I didn't understand why they chose for this game to be in the first person. Take a look at this game. When the trailer first started, I went, okay, it's not the most mature game, let's say, but it does look fun. And then when they cut to gameplay footage and I saw that I was in the first person, I completely wrote this game off because it just doesn't serve it well, I think. I think this would have been better as a third-person kind of action-adventure game that you're playing. I mean, look at it. It looks like an action-adventure game, and then when they cut to the actual gameplay, it looks like a first-person, not-so-good game. And that brings me to the most offensive game of all time, The Gunk. This is where they take a female protagonist of ethnic minority descent with a vacuum strapped to her back, running around the world vacuuming up shit and fighting the world off of overgrown bedbugs and fleas. They're either overgrown or she's shrunk. I'm not sure, but the point is, where are the feminist groups demanding that this game be cancelled? And just change the name, Microsoft. If you're gonna have the balls to come out with this game, change the name to The Maid. That's what it should be called. That's what it is. Technically, that's what it is. She's running around vacuuming up dirt or shit. She's cleaning a mess. The Maid, optimized for the Xbox Series X. And since I'm talking about games that I wasn't happy about or wasn't impressed with, I have to bring this up, and it's not really a game, it's just a fact of the show. We had 7 games: The Outer Worlds, Halo, Crossfire, Grounded, Avowed, Stalker 2, and Darktide, which are all games in the first-person perspective. And that really disappointed me. I was really hoping to see more attention being paid to the third-person aspect, whether that's role-playing games, which I was glad to see Fable. Fable was something I was happy to see at the end. Obviously, we don't really know anything about it yet, other than the fact that they're working on it, and it looks like it's going to be something that's at least 2 years away. So, other than Fable, I really didn't see many third-person action-adventure games, unless you want to throw The Gunk in there. Psychonauts 2, I guess I should say. Psychonauts 2, it's just, I didn't like the first one, so I'm not really looking forward to that. And then there was The Medium, which was also a game in the third person, but The Medium to me looks very confusing. I don't know what the gameplay is going to look like. Is it just walking around solving puzzles? Because I didn't really see much in that gameplay footage they showed that really gives us a clear picture of what the gameplay is going to be looking like. It looks like some sort of mystery spiritual adventure that she goes on trying to solve puzzles or a crime or something of that nature. I just don't understand where this game is going. I didn't see any combat mechanics So is there any fighting in this game? Can you run and jump in this game? Do you evade trouble as it comes at you, or there's no trouble at all? You're just playing a role in the story, basically just like Dusk Falls or Tell Me Why, just differently with a little more horror and with two worlds being rendered. Which I get, two worlds being rendered is cool, but what's the game? What am I doing with the controller in my hand? Like, what do I have to get good at to get past this game? Like in Ghost of Tsushima, I have to fight, right? And in other games, you have to do something to get past the game. In old school Mario, you gotta jump over turtles or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter what it is, just show me what the gameplay is so I have a better idea of what this game is actually about. And quite honestly, at this point, I don't really trust Microsoft Game Studios enough to just think that the gameplay is gonna be awesome and I should just trust them that they're gonna make a badass game. Now let's talk a little bit about games I actually did like from the showcase, and I did. I liked a couple of games. Crossfire is a game I'm not too familiar with and I haven't played before, but the online multiplayer section of this game really looks like Counter-Strike, and I really like Counter-Strike. And this version comes with an actual single-player campaign mode, so I'm looking forward to giving that a try when it comes out. It just looks like a newer version of Counter-Strike that I'll give it a try and see if it actually is better than Counter-Strike or not. Avowed is a game that really started with me going yes, and then when it ended with the first person view of the character pulling out a sword, I went no, again, first person for this too? Just to be fair, I want to say I thought the exact same way when I saw Ghostwire at the PS5 reveal. I was heartbroken that it was in the first person. I thought they were working on a third person game and I was looking forward to it. I don't think I'll be playing Ghostwire. I know first-person role-playing games can work and have worked in the past, but I'll beg to differ and say that most role-playing games look a lot better in the third person. Your role-playing game is usually about advancing your character through experience points, armor, weaponry, whatever it may be, or even moves, right? Like Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm playing religiously every single day. I'm loving the fact that every couple of hours of game played, I learn a new move, or I got a new piece of armor, or whatever it may be, and I like seeing those things live on screen. You're watching me play Ghost of Tsushima right now, and just look at these moves and look at this fast-paced action. You can't do this in the first person. Actually, if you try to do this in the first person, you'd probably go dizzy and want to vomit. I mean, think about it, rolling around on the ground, spinning around and slashing your sword. You can't do that in the first person. So I don't understand why these developers choose to do games like this in the first person. First person is best utilized for first person shooters. This is my opinion. You might disagree with me, but I think that you get so many more benefits in role-playing games and action-adventure games in the third person because you get to see your character actually doing things instead of just looking at the world in front of you, aiming and shooting or swinging your sword. With all that said, I'll still give Avowed a try when it comes out, but I am disappointed. Now, the game that I saw a little piece of that I liked the most, or I'm excited about the most, is State of Decay 3. State of Decay 1 and 2 were not the greatest games, but they had a lot of potential. I still think that series or that franchise can be one of the best Xbox franchises there is if they do it right. I love the concept. I like the whole zombie thing. I like the fact that it's in the third person. It could be a beautiful action-adventure game that Microsoft games are just lacking. They need this game to be better. And from the graphical CGI scene that we saw so far, it does look like it's got a lot of potential. So fingers crossed this thing will be the badass action-adventure game that Xbox needs. So I think it's time now to talk about Halo. This is tough. I was expecting a lot more from Halo. And I hate to say it because I know this is not going to make everybody happy that's watching this video, but the truth is 12 teraflops. We kept hearing about 12 teraflops, ray tracing, blah blah, and your flagship game is Halo. So the one game that should be showing off all the Xbox Series X might and power should be this game, and it was not there. It was not there. The gameplay itself looks cool. I love that it's open world. You get to pick the little side mission you want to go on first to get to your, objective. I like games like this a lot, so I'm happy about that. Am I going to play Halo? I think so. I think I am. Because it's Halo, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be better when it comes out than what we just saw. But the fact that they showed it the way it is really upsetting. I have a theory that this has a lot to do with the fact that this Microsoft is shifting gears and focusing on Xbox Game Pass, which is going to change the way they release games and when they feel a game is ready to be released. I'm making another video for that, which should be out in the next day or two, about subscription services, the pros and the cons. So look for that. But for now, let's just discuss Halo the way it is. It looks good in gameplay. It does not look good graphically. I don't see anything next gen about it. But it is Halo, so there's that nostalgic feeling and that I know I'm gonna have some fun playing this game, but I am disappointed. And I think most people are. I think most people who are not just fanboying for the sake of fanboying, most people who are being objective are disappointed, and they should be. They should be. I've heard too many Xbox fanboys and Xbox podcast and content creators never say anything bad about Xbox, but be so quick to trash on the Sony PlayStation and the PS5 reveal event. Let's get this straight right away. The PS5 reveal event had the better games. Let's not mess with that. Ratchet & Clank did have ray tracing and did have next-gen graphics. Yes, Spider-Man Miles Morales didn't show any in-game footage, but Ratchet & Clank did. And I'm sure they'll show Spider-Man in-game footage soon. Or gameplay footage, I should say. Sorry about that. But here's a couple other things they did show gameplay footage for. Kenna Bridges Spirits looked absolutely fucking beautiful. And they showed it gameplay. That game, you can't deny that game is beautiful. Demon's Souls, they didn't show gameplay footage, but that game was absolutely gorgeous too. It looked next gen. Horizon Forbidden West probably didn't show any gameplay footage. We're not sure yet. We don't really know if any of that was gameplay or not, but it looks absolutely fucking gorgeous. You can't deny that. So if you had to tell me who had the better showcase or the better reveal for next gen console and games, I'm gonna say the PS5, hands down. You can't even tell me it was even, because it's not even. I just named 4 or 5 games that Microsoft didn't have an answer to. I didn't see a single Microsoft single-player adventure game that I can just sit down and play by myself, not online. Yes, Halo has a campaign mode, I get it, but come on, most of the time on Halo is going to be spent online playing multiplayer death matches or capture the flag or whatever it is, and that is fun, don't get me wrong. It is fun, I'm not saying it's not fun, but I didn't see any third-person single-player adventure games or story games that I can sit down and enjoy, just like I am with Ghost of Tsushima right now, or just like I was with The Last of Us 2, and just like I will be with Kenna, Little Devil Inside, Horizon, and Demon's Souls, that Microsoft has an answer to. They just don't. So I know the games revealed at the PS5 reveal event just looked better or were better. And if you tell me that the PS5 doesn't have any first-person shooters, that's not true, because they showed Deathloop, looks really interesting, graphically it looks really great, and it'll be on the PS5. So they have the first-person shooter, and they'll get Call of Duty, so they'll have something that you can play online, multiplayer death matches, everything will be there, and Call of Duty is probably better than Halo. Let's not bullshit. Halo's a great game, but Call of Duty is the, industry leader in console FPS multiplayer games. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about Microsoft Game Studios delivering on, again, anything other than online multiplayer first-person shooters, or anything in the first person for that matter. I want awesome campaigns, awesome action adventure, single player experiences, because I already know they're going to make great online games. They always have. And if they don't, Call of Duty is going to be enough for me. Alright, that's it for me for today. Again, I got another video talking about subscription services, the pros and the cons of the Game Pass, and the pros and the cons of Microsoft shifting their focus to subscription services. Stay tuned for that. It should be out in the next day or two. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe. It takes a lot to put these things together. I'll see you soon.